Diavy Kubuya. I'm the secretary of the group of victims in the North Kivu province. Uh, the group of victims in the eastern part of the DRC in general and in the North Kivu province in particular used to work in scattered and dispersed way. This in fact considerably reduced the impact of their actions on the ground. It was then crucial to create coalitions of victims for building a national coalition movement so as to pool efforts to amplify the voice of victims and so to increase their level of influence for the effectiveness of transitional justice in the three most affected provinces by serious crimes and human rights violations, which are the North Kivu, the South Kivu, and Ituri. The coalition of victims in the North Kivu was created in November 2023 on the sidelines of a workshop organized by Impunity Watch, which gathered around 15 organizations or group of victims coming from different parts of the entire province of the North Kivu. And in terms of vision, our vision is making the voices of victims of crimes and serious human rights violations heard and putting an end to crimes and human rights violation, including the trafficking of children as soldiers. We've got too many goals. The first is to unite the voices of all victims of serious crimes and the human rights violations linked to armed conflicts and demand their rights to know the truth, to justice, reparation, and memorialization, and the guarantees of non-repetition. The second is to coordinate group or associations of victims in order to define comprehensive advocacy strategies at local, national, and even international level. To help us achieve our vision and goals, we are so grateful for the support of Impunity Watch, which has provided us capacity building sessions in several relevant fields, which is helping us to amplify our voices as victims through advocacy actions for the effectiveness of transitional justice process mechanism in our country. We would particularly like to reiterate our thanks for the policy note, which best reflects the deep aspirations of victims. In terms of achievements, we can notice the first one being the design of an advocacy strategy for transitional justice at the provincial level. This really is our number one big achievement. The second is the participation in the policy note advocacy mission, which took place in Kinshasa, held by Impunity Watch with us. The third one, the organization of a conference on the mental health of victims, and this was our initiative. 5, radio broadcasts to raise awareness on transitional justice, and the participation in the political forum related to transitional justice in the DRC in general and in the North Kivu province in particular. Among our future prospects, we can notice, for example, the execution of a large-scale awareness project on informal mechanisms of transitional justice, the fundraising and mobilization of public opinion, both national and international level, for the implementation of our advocacy strategy. And thirdly, we'd like to create economic activities for the empowerment of victims and to intensify advocacy, not only to request an international tribunal court to establish for the establishment of a truth and reconciliation commission in the North Kivu province, to be specific. So in terms of role of victims groups in the TG process, we can say that victims have the crucial role to advocate for the fulfillment of their rights. They are also supposed to inform how transitional justice processes have to be conducted in the country. And victims are the reason why TG comes to life. And victims are the ones who lived atrocities and abuses in their flesh, in their experiences as human beings. That's why, far from being confined in a simple witness role, victims are key players. They express and speak out, and they are the power voice of the community. So we think that victims are the heart of the TG process, and even the measure by which the success of it can be assessed. And in terms of the role of victims too, we have to participate throughout the process, before, during, and after the process. And for us, we mean that this can be called the significant participation of the victim. That cannot be only a symbolic participation. And we think that we all have a role to play in the implementation of TG process in DRC, and every stakeholder had their role, their contribution to make it happen, and for the success of this TG process in our country. Thank you.